And this meeting is being live streamed.
Live stream, yeah. Bhim Pali from Bangladesh. Most welcome here. So people, we are now live streaming on YouTube, Twitter and Facebook. You can
हमारे कार्यक्रम का लाइव प्रसारण हो रहा है। आप जो लोग
We have Wilson Bezwara. It's amazing to have you here with us. Isn't this a wonderful way to bring people together in times when you cannot really travel and everybody, I am sure, is dying to go out. But this, meetings like this, events like this, make sure that we are not alone anywhere. And for such causes, I look at this gathering and I look at the chats that you guys are sending right now. It's amazing. I really can't express the feeling. Rinki Baroi from Bangladesh. Welcome, Rinki.
The links will be in the chat right away. Just give us a moment and they will be shared in the chat with everybody. And we are at 91 friends, 9 more to go, and that's 100. And for the cricket playing nation that I come from, a century is a really big deal. Even before the event got started. That is just insanity.
Amazing, amazing. I can't believe this.
And I have been keeping score, and it seems like Bangladesh is scoring really high on the chat. We got lots of friends from there. So whoop whoop Bangladesh and everybody else, catch on. Come on, India. We had our friend from Shillong, but where is everybody else? Send it out, join in.
Sri Lanka, New Jersey, Bangladesh, India, Brazil. No, I can't really keep the count now.
All right, the Twitter link is out. So everybody who's tweeting, make sure this reaches to everyone across the Twitter world. The link has been shared by Nantara. Thank you.
Thank you,
Bulgaria in the house.
Oh yes, and everybody, a very happy International Youth Day to all of you. Thank you, Rita, for the reminders.
Friends, take a second to tweet it out on your Twitter. Just copy paste the link and make sure all your friends join in. It'll be amazing to get this word out to as many people as possible, especially in our own personal network.
Hello, Sonu. We have the Facebook live stream link here. You can share that with your friends and family. What's the count, Amitabh? I guess
93 participants and
awesome.
2 in the waiting room.
Awesome.
That's 95, 5 more to go, and then we got 100 people.
Come on.
And this is only when Arnika and I are performing, and we are not even musicians.
Come on,
What's gonna happen?
A huge round of applause for us.
Yeah, let's test out those reactions. It will be awesome to see the applause coming through.
Show us some love, people. Oh, Pam, ma'am, how are you? So good to have you Yes, she's the youngest. Amazing to have you here. Hi,
And ma'am,
Bhavna.
Pam Rajput is here. Namaste, ma'am. Kaise ho?
Did we hit 100?
28.
Awesome. 2 more people. Come on.
I think that was just 99 right there. One more to go. Oh, 2 more are in the waiting room.
Yes,
I
100. 100 it
That
is.
is it.
It is 100. Awesome.
Welcome, Sonu Rani. You've made it to 100. Thank you. So friends, we are live streaming on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. Share it across with your family and friends. Make sure most people get to see this amazing engagement amongst artists, activists as youth beat COVID-19 on this Youth Day of 2021.
Yes, ma'am, you are the youngest, and we cannot match the energy that you have. I agree.
Yes, the music will be there, and there'll be more live music coming our way as well. Friends, please keep telling us from which country you are, which city, where are you joining in from.
Deepa
Hi,
is joining
Deepa.
from Nepal.
Okay, so it was Bangladesh, but it seems Nepal is also rising. Lots and lots of names and friends coming from Nepal. Amazing.
All right, here we have Mithilesh from Darjeeling, India.
Hello and welcome to everyone also from my side. I'm Johannes from the Secretariat. I just want to do some technical announcements. We have in this call interpretation available in Hindi, Portuguese, French, and obviously the main language English. I will just now repeat the very same information that I said now in these languages to ensure that everyone can find the right button. Maybe first in English, on the bottom right, you should have a little well that says interpretation. Please click on that very button so that now, and select English, so that when other speakers join later on and speak in Portuguese, French, or Spanish, you can still hear the English interpretation seamlessly without any interruption. And please allow me now to say the very same thing. In the other languages, in case people do not understand English, they can also select the right language. Bonjour à tous et toutes. Bienvenue à cet événement de musique, de la culture, de la connaissance. Je suis très content que vous êtes ici avec nous. On a la disponibilité de la traduction simultanée. Vous pouvez choisir à droite, en bas, une petite boule qui dit interprétation. Là, vous pouvez choisir français, anglais ou votre langue préférée. Si vous avez des questions, s'il vous plaît, utilisez le chat pour faire les questions techniques et j'aimerais bien, mes collègues aussi, aider vous. Je vais dire la même chose maintenant en espagnol. Muy buenos días, buenas tardes y buenas noches a todos y todas. Quisiera brevemente explicar que tenemos disponible hoy interpretación simultánea. Y usted pueden elegir a la derecha abajo, normalmente hay una bolita pequeña que dice interpretación. Ahí ustedes pueden escoger inglés, español o portugués para escuchar las intervenciones que vienen. Si ustedes tienen alguna preocupación, algún problema, por favor usan el chat para contactarme o nuestro equipo para apoyarles. Y ahora vamos a escucharlo en Hindi. If Pradeep, if Dipanshu could briefly say it in Hindi, because that language I have not mastered yet, I have to admit. Please, Dipanshu, go ahead.
Dipanshu?
Unmute.
You have to unmute unmute him, Johannes. Permission to unmute.
Sorry,
You
I
should be
think the
co-host.
French interpreter is on the English
Thank you,
channel.
Johannes. I've been unmuted now. Sorry for this small technical glitch. आप सबका बहुत ही ज़्यादा स्वागत है इस शानदार शाम में. थोड़ी सी जानकारी मैं आप सबको देना चाहूँगा टेक्निकल इश्यूज को लेते हुए. हिंदी में इस इवेंट को सुनने के लिए आपके पास एक ऑप्शन अवेलेबल है नीचे आपके स्क्रीन के, इंटरप्रिटेशन नाम से, जिस पे आप क्लिक करेंगे तो आपको हिंदी में इस इवेंट का पूरा वार्तालाप मिलेगा. बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया. और मैं चाहूँगा और ये उम्मीद करूँगा कि आपको हमारा ये इवेंट बहुत पसंद आएगा और आप इसका आनंद ले पाएंगे. धन्यवाद. Johannes, we are good to go now.
Awesome, awesome. Johannes, I wish I could speak all those languages in one go. Thank you, Dipanshu. Thank you, Johannes. Now, if I may invite Bina Palikil to just come over and say a few words about the program.
Yeah, Johannes, can we remove the screen sharing, please? Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you all for joining. I think this is really great that we've got such a good audience from all across the globe. I'd like to say to all, Jai Bhim, Opra Roma, Johar, Namaskar, Namaste, hello, bonjour, salam, salve, and hola. I think I have mentioned all the greetings from all the countries that are represented here. It's fantastic to be here and to be able to meet with different people from all across the globe. We are living in unprecedented times where the COVID-19 has hit us, where there are several challenges that we're going through. There are natural disasters across, there are floods in many parts of the country, there are earthquakes in many parts of the world, but yet we come together to resist and to form and to place our demands before through resistance, through music. And that's why we are all here today. I know that in India, we're going through a very grim time where we're seeing violence at unprecedented rates. We're seeing so much of right-wing fundamentalism across the world, but that will not deter us from coming together as the youth of this country. There are 1.2 billion youth today in the world. That is 1.2 billion youth globally by the UN data that has been given out in 2019. And I'm sure a large percentage of that youth come from the communities discriminated on work and dissent. So today, this program is hosted by the Global Forum of Communities Discriminated on Work and Dissent and the GCAP, Global Call to Action Against Poverty. We're looking at two things. Today's International Youth Day. And the main theme of this year's Youth Day is transforming food systems, youth innovation for human personality. That is the theme that the UN has set this year. So we are also looking through these performances. We will also look at people narrating experiences that the youth from the communities discriminated by work and dissent, whether it's the Dalits in India, whether it's the Osu Ororu in Nigeria, whether it's the Haratin in Mauritania, whether it's the Quilombola community in Latin America, whether it's the Roma in Europe. And several other communities that I must not have mentioned that come within the framework of communities discriminated by work and dissent. And within that, further that further marginalization of youth from these communities. One of our ex-presidents, Abdul Kalam ji, had said something very powerful, and I'd like to read that for you. The youth have the courage to think differently, courage to invent, to travel the unexplored path, courage to discover the impossible, and to conquer the problems and succeed. And in essence, to be able to conquer the world. And I think we are here with the world today. We have representatives from, I think, maybe about 15 to 20 countries, and we're so excited to be here. I'm also super excited to see that we have some stalwarts within us. I think during the course of time, we will mention who some of them are. Thank you for joining us. I know this is taking time off your busy schedules, but Pam Rajput ji is here. Thank you so much for coming. Bishop Prince Singh is here. We welcome you. Thank you for coming. Wilson Bezwada ji is here. And many others. If I've missed, we will be putting, please look through the chat so that we will continuously be putting people who have joined, who have come in support of the youth of these communities. I also want to say that we're supporting, in addition to the fact that we're looking at the food systems and the challenges that we have faced in right to food during the pandemic period, we're also looking at supporting people's vaccine campaign. And I think GCAP will come in during the course of this event and explain to you what is it that we are supporting. We're supporting free vaccines for everybody. Yes, we do not support mandatory vaccine, but free vaccine for everybody who needs it and who are willing to take the vaccination. We will be also having petitions. We will be sending out tweets and Facebook Live. So please continue to tweet and retweet. But the essence of why we are here is because we want to rise in resistance against the violence that is happening today. Rise in resistance against the fundamental governments that are taking over. Rise in resistance because it is you, the youth, who are going to lead tomorrow, and the future is in your hands. Before I go, I'd like to introduce two of my close friends and a fantastic moderators who have already started moderating before I could introduce, so I'm now formally introducing them. Arnika and Amitabh are great friends of mine and great allies of the Dalit rights movement in India and have supported us in many ways. Are co-founders of YOLO, Youth Online Learning Organization, a platform for young people based upon principles of equality and justice, working towards building youth leadership for a tolerant and inclusive democratic world. I would also like to say that we are not here this is not a one-time event. We formed a global youth forum to look at issues concerning the youth. I think somebody from the Secretariat will be telling you a little bit about that, and that we will be continuing to engage with the governments, at the state governments, with the regional platforms, with the international and global UN mechanisms that exist, so that we can place our demand before them. We want demand to right to food, right to vaccination, we want demand right to health, right to education. There are so many demands that our youth want, and we will be continuing this campaign henceforth, and we want all of you to be part of that. With this, I'd like to give the stage back to Arnika and Amitabh. The time is all yours, and I hope you enjoy. We have some fantastic performance from different parts of the world, from the LGBTI community, from the African community in Africa, from the Roma community, from the Dalit community. And I hope the next few hours will be hours for us to think through also messages that are going to be through this music, messages that we are going to pass on, that has been passed on from generations to generation, but we're going to take it forward with much vigor and energy. Jai Bhim and Ola. Thank you. Over to you, Arnika.
Thank you so much. What an energetic start. And we couldn't hold our excitement, and hence we started early. But now I would just like Amitabh to come in here and say a few words, and then let's not wait anymore and begin the evening with the wonderful performances that we have. Amitabh.
Oh, totally. It's the World Youth Day. We have amazing leaders with us. And when we say youth, it's not just your age, it's the age you are at heart. I have some of the legends of Indian activism whose name I saw joining in. So friends, all of us, it's about love, peace, respect. The organization we represent, YOLO, which also means you only live once. So live honestly, work hard, and truly break every rule which is holding you back. It doesn't matter. You can wear sunglasses on an international podium. It does not matter. Express yourself. It's your world. And today, many activists are going to join in. Many musicians from across the globe in different languages are joining in. Please keep on sharing. Bring as many people as there. And Anika, take it away. Bring the greatest performers here. Looking forward to the evening.
All right, amazing. Just before I introduce to our first performers, I would just like to once again reiterate that we are live streaming on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. Keep on sharing, keep on showing us love there too, and get your family and friends to enjoy these performances with you. And without much further ado, we have the first performance by Gayatri, Aza, and Busiswe. I'll just introduce them quickly. Manola Gayatri Kumaraswamy is an artistic researcher, teacher, poet, and a postdoctoral fellow at Drama for Life and Department of Theatre and Performance with Witwatersrand University. She's been teaching in India and South Africa over the last decade. Next, we have Aza, a multi-instrumentalist, composer, producer. He's a musical director, cultural activist, educator, a philanthropist from the South African Jazz capital, Mamelodi in Pretoria. Next on the list, we have Busiswe Mahlangu. Busiswe is a poet, performer, and a dreamer from Mamelodi, Pretoria. She's the author of Surviving Loss, a poetry collection which was later adapted for theatre at the South African State Theatre Incubator Program. Wonderful. We are so glad to have all of you here. And now, Johannes, Dipanshu, can we have the performance live here?
Indeed, the artists. Please feel free now to unmute the microphones and share the screen if you want and start. Manola, I can already see you. Please go ahead.
Hello, thank you, Debim Amandla, Busiswe Mahlangu, Given Aza Mpago, and myself have come together for this performance, believing in the strength of our cultures in the South, to speak back to this moment, to revive both ancient and present cultures of both resistance and lineages of wisdom. And this is our birthing invocation moment for you here. Maybe before we start, can I just check if Aza has sound is tuning in?
Sure.
Aza?
Moderator, can you please co-pin them, all three of them?
I think Aza is disconnected.
We bring you 3 poems. A poem about a mother working in the middle of pre-apartheid and post. We bring you a poem of the youth in South Africa during COVID and the government responding in this time. We bring you a poem about pain that's not resolved, of people telling you to pick up yourself too quickly before you are ready. We bring you 3 poems from Busi and myself.
The dead leave their memories in the hearts of the living. Sometimes I hold on to remember you. You, snatched by death while life was still happening. I remember you. I know the rot of places. I know the air is heavy with air. I cannot separate the poison from the wind. I cannot tell the virus to shrink itself into the unknown. All things exist. I cannot unmake the terror of a wall that now only breathes behind closed doors. I cannot bake grief into a sweet pie and hope to forget the taste of loss in my mouth. I exist in the rot, and sometimes I am part of it. I struggle to keep my heart hopeful. Dear heart, carry the memory of the living. But heart is taking a strain too. Heart is taking a strain too. I cannot keep watching the walls break to its knees, the poor on the ground, waking the storm to clear skies with nothing protecting us but hope, and a below minimum wage that cannot even bury us. Last month, hunger drove the hearts of my people to leaping, a cry, a seething act, maybe an act of rebellion too, against the government that steals from its people, and the government's response by collecting all the stolen food, including food, especially the food, kicking down every sack, soldiers and police knocking in every house in the township, collecting food, only to ban it, only to ban the hope. My mother's mother has done the suffering for my mother. My mother has done the suffering for me. This is how I inherit a scar. I wear mother's bones. I fit Mama's clothes when she goes to work. I fit into the dances she had in them, into the panic of walking the streets at night, into the making of a home that would not hold. Her favorite skirt is striped black and white, with the lines pointing to her feet, like a whisper saying she must run. Her favorite blouse is blue. She was beautiful in it before it became a mouse following her ugly along with her life. This one outfit excused from scraping the floors and raising white children, save for Sunday's gospel and prayers begging God for an answer. To look like Mama is to look like sacrifice. Only a corner in the room to keep all her things, while Baba fills the whole house with himself. The mirror says, I am drowning in a sketch. I twirl in amazement. Mama's life is so beautiful. I can die in it. If death could tell me what made her laugh, made her happy with less, made her stay when she could run, made her wear a blouse to watch herself drown. I want to pick the side with a needle and thread, but she will know that I wear her life when she goes.
Stand savage in the midst of your chaos. Let no one come near you to cleanse you with their sanities. Tsunamis of the earth, waves of viral discontent, of species, livelihood, lineages of wisdom, lineages of skin, lineages of knowledge, lineages of colors and ways of living of the earth erased. Waves churn, rage, churn grief, make silence, make stillness through your tears, your mismatched thoughts, your quiet, unheld nights. Angry stars find utterance and birth. Stand savage, let the birthing happen. Birthing is messy, tears, gasps, screams, breath, heavy. Baptisms of oil and water come later. Birthing is gushing, mucus, lymph, tearing, gasps, heavy breathing. Stand savage in this spilling until you are ready to be born. Birth yourself. For you who have to rebirth yourselves in every story of pain, through the fire, through the brokenness, through absence, through loss, through the unspoken. This is also for you. Stand savage in your pain. Let no one come near you to cleanse you with their sanities. Take the time to bleed before you heal. If the knives went deep, you will spill more. It's not a hemorrhage, it is the wound still bleeding. Do not let them tell you how long it's been. They do not have your wounds. They do not have the tenderness of your flesh. They have not been to the cities of your burning. Do not let them bandage you too quickly because they can't bear the sight of blood. Let the blood flow before it festers. Let it touch brown soil. Let the earth carry your leaking into her belly. Let her fire rebirth you. Let her moisture replant you. You will carry new veins, gold and mercury. Ancestors reaching out of sienna soils, making your skin shine again. When you are remade in bones of those that left before, the time for rest will come. To breathe softer, to find laughter, to tell their stories through your pain. When they come in dreams, in voices, in visions, when they come in dreams, in voices, in visions, because their pain was buried too soon and they are restless now in death. Stand savage in your pain. Stand savage in your chaos. We are all being birthed through this, your inheritance. For those of us breathless in this birthing, you will birth, you will breathe.
I know about the taking that having nothing does, and poverty that drowns a name and replaces it with begging, and hands that are strong enough to overturn the world, but they are too full of grief from fixing falling things. I was born in a place where people moan lost jobs like sons who die, follow them in the mud, and beg the grave to swallow them whole. The weight of breathing in a body is the end of life, the bend of a spine rolling over the floor, leaving a death that water cannot wash away. Finding a job is finding a slaughterhouse. Lost has hands and legs and a pouch. Lost is a number of heads next to a burning tire. Lost has a bullet in its chest. Sometimes the country forgets to apologize. Sometimes we apologize for the protest and the struggle. We have to apologize for speaking. This is the place we never leave.
Welele, welele, ah. Welele, welele, ah. Mwana welela. Welele, welele, ah. It's gone.
I think Azza is having some network issue. He'll jump back in. Thank you. That was an amazing performance, both of you. Truly, and collaborating online can be complex. So thanks very much for that amazing poetry and music and sharing a part of your culture. Coming up next, I would like to invite Mr. Pradeep Peria. He served as an executive chairperson of Samanta Foundation and brings nearly 2 decades of expertise in formulating national and international policies for youth, peace, and social justice. Samanta Foundation is leading independent think tank with specialization in the area of caste-based discrimination and marginalization. So please unmute and join us. We would love to hear you.
Thank you very much. It's a great pleasure and honor to listen all of you here. Thank you very much for having me here today. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Loud and clear.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much for having me here today. We are fighting against unprecedented challenges, the global COVID-19 pandemic. We are in the difficult situation right now worldwide. I want to extend my gratitude to the frontline workers around the globe Your contribution for saving the humanity is unparalleled. It's a really honor to all the frontline workers. The COVID-19 pandemic impact has also exposed the anomalies in the world, the struggle of survival, the inequalities and exclusion, be it the vaccine for human rights, and at the center of it is the youth, the global citizen. Today, there are 1.2 billion young people aged 15 to 24 years, accounting for 16% of the global population. By 2030, the target date for the Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs, that make up the 2030 agenda, the number of youth is projected to have grown by 7% to nearly 1.3 billion. I'm concerned about their well-being, education, employment, health, and access to opportunities that advance innovation and progress. I believe when I provided with the knowledge, skills, and opportunities, youth can be a positive force for development. Youth are the change maker. I have never ever doubt in it. But let me tell you that youth today face a series of varied challenges to which all the state, all the government, and the global community should come together and find solutions. Let me talk about Nepal. Last year, just within a 5 month of COVID-19 lockdown in Nepal, 23 Dalits were murdered. Violence against Dalits increased by be it the lynching of 6 youth, including Navraj Bike in West Rukum, who dared to marry a girl from higher caste, or Vijay Ram Chamar, who died in the police custody. Angira Pasi was raped and murdered. Malar Sada starved to death. That kind of situation we are facing in daily life. The systemic discrimination became even more explicit during COVID-19. Dalits faced discrimination during distribution of relief materials and medical supplies. COVID-19 measures such as isolation and social distancing reinforced the discriminatory practices of exclusion and untouchability. Imagine not being allowed to fetch or even touch the water from public water spout in a place you call home. Imagine being a best friends with a schoolmate whose house you can't set foot into, or being a sculptor who carves a statue of gods only to be prohibited from entering a temple, simply because you are born in the society's ideology of so-called lower caste family. That is how the lives have been carved for ages for Dalits of South Asia, who stand at the intersection of socioeconomic and political oppression and are deprived of basic human rights in almost every walk of their lives due to wide-ranging discriminatory practices, especially in this COVID-19 pandemic. An estimated 260 million people globally experience caste-based discrimination. Dalit constitute over 3 million of the Nepali population, but have been excluded and marginalized historically and were considered untouchable. Now, situation of access to COVID-19 vaccine for Dalits and other most marginalized communities around the world is everyone's guess. The rich and powerful nation control the production and distribution of vaccines. Nepal is a small country with a population of little over 30 million, and more than 10,000 have already lost their lives due to COVID-19. And as of August 11, yesterday, 2021, only around 2,800,000 people got the vaccinated population. I say vaccine is a universal human rights, and there is a need to ensure inclusive and equitable access to it. The marginalized and excluded, the vulnerable and the poor people with disabilities, people of diverse gender identities, no one should be left behind. This year, the United Nations celebrating the International Youth Day with a theme of transforming food system, youth innovation for human rights, human and planetary health, with the aim of highlighting that the success of such a global effort will not be achieved without the meaningful participation of young people. I see a major challenge to preserving, protecting, and transforming the food system of indigenous and DW communities globally. That's one of the major challenges. Hence, I would like to request, especially young people, youth, and everyone to join hands with us in this endeavor to end all form of caste-based discrimination and untouchability and the emancipation of 250 million Dalits worldwide. Thank you for listening. Thank you for listening. Thank you so much. Happy International Youth Day. Stay safe wherever you are. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much for putting all those facts out, and we are in complete agreement with you. And thank you also to for that last call out to the youth. I hope they are listening, and they have this incredible energy with which I think organizations like you, activists like you, collaborate and bring about that much desired change. So thank you for putting everything out there. And now, next performer we have with us is Yakuba. Yakuba goes by the stage name Sage Soldat and started playing music as a teenager. Immersed in books, he saw himself as a writer first. Through rap, he found his true outlet to express his love of art, stories, poems, proverbs, and African myths. Yakuba, please unmute yourself, and we are really looking forward to hear you.
Yeah, bonjour tout le monde. Je m'appelle Yakuba. My stage name is Sage Soldat. I'm from Niger. Je suis de Niamey. Voilà, big up tout le monde. La première chanson qu'on va interpréter tout de suite, elle est intitulée Pas de pause. We can't stop. We cannot stop. Yeah, give the sound. Oh. Un peu de volume peut-être. C'est and I saw the Zion represent against fire. Root regular trend combination. Yo, I say, je n'ai pas besoin d'une pause. Je dis besoin d'un micro et des sounds. Je n'ai pas besoin d'une pause. Je dis besoin d'un stylo et d'une feuille. Je n'ai pas besoin d'une pause. Je dis besoin d'un micro et des sounds. Je n'ai pas besoin d'une pause, j'ai besoin d'un stylo et d'une feuille. Tant que ma société est marginalisée, tant que mon peuple vit dans des difficultés, tant que les droits de l'homme sont toujours bafouillés, tant que les droits de l'homme sont toujours bafouillés. Non, je n'ai pas besoin d'une pause, j'ai besoin d'un micro et des sounds. Je n'ai pas besoin d'une pause, j'ai besoin d'un stylo et d'une feuille. J'ai pas besoin d'une pause, j'ai besoin d'un micro et des sounds. Je n'ai pas besoin d'une pause, j'ai besoin d'un stylo et d'une feuille. J'ai pas besoin d'une pause, j'ai besoin d'un micro et des sounds. J'ai pas besoin d'une pause, j'ai besoin d'un stylo et d'une feuille. Tant que la Covid nous empêche de marcher, tant que la Covid nous empêche de bouger, tant que la Covid nous empêche de réaliser chant, tant que les droits de l'homme sont toujours bafouillés, oh na 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 na. Je n'ai pas besoin d'une pause, j'ai juste besoin d'un micro et d'un sound. Je n'ai pas besoin d'une pause, j'ai juste besoin d'un stylo et d'une feuille. J'ai pas besoin d'une pause. J'ai pas besoin d'une pause, j'ai juste besoin d'un micro et des sounds. J'ai pas besoin d'une pause, j'ai juste besoin d'un stylo et d'une feuille. J'ai pas besoin d'une pause, j'ai juste besoin d'un micro et des sounds. J'ai pas besoin d'une pause, j'ai juste besoin d'un micro et des sounds. J'ai pas besoin d'une pause, j'ai juste besoin d'un stylo et d'une feuille. Je n'ai pas besoin d'une pause. Comment veux-tu que je me pose alors que toujours mon peuple pleure, alors que toujours mon peuple crie? Comment veux-tu que je me pose alors que toujours mon peuple pleure, alors que toujours mon peuple crie? Comment veux-tu que je me pose? Comment veux-tu que je me pose? Non, non, je n'ai pas besoin d'une pause. Say I like root. Why are your mask, brother? Yes, man. Big up Jonas. Big up la team. Youth beat, COVID-19, you know. J'improvise au studio. Ça se passe comme ça avec l'Histo Studio, you know. Avec l'Histo Création qui m'accompagne. Je n'ai pas besoin d'une pause. J'ai juste besoin d'un micro et des sounds. Je n'ai pas besoin d'une pause. J'ai juste besoin d'un stylo et d'une feuille. J'ai pas besoin d'une pause, moi. J'ai juste besoin d'un micro et des sounds. J'ai pas besoin d'une pause. J'ai pas besoin d'une pause. J'ai pas besoin d'une pause. I and I, Soldat Zion, represent again fire. Roots reggae natural combination, you know, from Niger. Big up everybody. Why are your mask, brother? Parce que la COVID-19 existe. Parce que la COVID peut nous empêcher de bouger. Parce que la COVID nous empêche de bouger. Parce que la COVID nous empêche de bouger. Parce que la COVID nous empêche de réalisation. Tant que nos enfants sont en manque de l'éducation. Je n'ai pas besoin d'une pause. J'ai juste besoin d'un micro et des sounds. Je n'ai pas besoin d'une pause. Pas de pause, you know. On passe au second son, bien sûr. Voilà. Le deuxième titre qu'on va interpréter, c'est tout simplement mon choix. J'ai choisi la musique pour passer des messages. J'ai choisi la musique pour dire qu'on existe. J'ai choisi la musique pour dire que c'est notre choix. Life is music, you know. Give it. Yes, I. Big up tous ceux qui sont connectés. Big up. Big up. Yo. Original. Et cette fois-ci, c'est de la trappe. All right. Juste un peu de volume, peut-être. Yeah. Tu mets la musique qui donne, on a des comptes à la personne. Tu vois que mes potes se tournent, quand tu mets c'est dans une tonne. Tu mets la musique qui donne, on a des comptes à la personne. Tu vois que mes potes se tournent, quand tu me vois chanter c'est dans une tonne. Jamais je suis dans la tendance, mais je suis dans le temps. Jamais je suis dans la tendance, mais je suis dans le temps. Jamais je suis dans la tendance, mais quand même je suis dans le moment. Si vous ne me suivez pas, je ne sais pas si maman me garde la bonne. Tu vois que dans ces bonnes, putain que sont les choix mon mode. Après le bling bling bling, quand même tu sais que je ne suis pas dedans. Des passages du Wolof, à tous mes frères, à tous mes brothers, qui ont crié à ma passion de reggae, qui ont crié à ma folie. Qui de tuer la musique in on a des comptes à personne. Tu vois que mes potes se tournent, quand tu me vois chanter, c'est dans une tonne. Tu veux la musique qui tourne, on a des comptes à personne. Tu vois que mes potes se tournent, quand tu me vois chanter, c'est dans une tonne. Tu veux la musique qui tourne, on a des comptes à personne. Tu vois que mes potes se tournent, quand tu me vois chanter, c'est dans une tonne. Si j'avance, tu ne déconnes pas, tu ne pourras jamais avancer. Si j'avance, tu ne déconnes pas, tu ne pourras jamais évoluer. Ok, c'est parti, musique reggae, que tu n'es que ça, que tu n'es pas. Tu can walk with in somebody, tu n'es mis sur le coup d'acquis, c'est sur la chance en acquis. Nature reggae, musique reggae, que tu n'es que ça, que tu n'es pas. Tu can walk with in somebody, like in a vie sur son gane. Tu mets la musique qui donne, on a des comptes à rendre à personne. Tu vois que les comptes se donnent, quand tu me vois chanter, c'est dans une tonne. Et tu mets la musique qui donne, on a des comptes à rendre à personne. Tu vois que mes comptes se donnent, quand tu me vois chanter, c'est dans une tonne. À chacun son modèle, à chacun son idole. À chacun son échec, à chacun son échec. Moi je reste fidèle au reggae, je reste fidèle à ses modèles. À tous ceux qui sont dans le feeling, respectez vos idoles. À tous ceux qui sont dans le feeling, respectez vos idoles. Des passages du Wolof, à tous mes frères, à tous mes brothers, qui ont crié à ma passion de reggae, qui ont crié à ma folie de reggae, qui ont crié à ma folie, qui ont crié à ma folie, qui ont crié à ma folie. I and I, from the Zion, open up again fire. Yes. Big up everybody, big up tous ceux qui nous suivent. Ça vient du Niger, ça vient de l'ami, ça vient de l'histoire-création. Big up, Jonas. Big up, Latif. You beat COVID-19, you know. Stop it. And warrior mask, brother. Big up, big up, big up, big up, big up. Bah, écoute, on est arrivé à la fin parce que le temps qui nous est déjà imparti, je crois que c'est déjà allé. On a que 5 minutes de ce petit concert-là, line, et je crois qu'on est arrivé quand même au terme de notre temps qui nous est déjà donné. Big up tout le monde, big up ceux qui nous ont suivis, big up everybody, enough respect. Je crois que Johannes, on est à la fin, c'est ça? On est à la fin de cette petite session studio avec toi. Ou alors on balance autre chose, si encore on a un peu du temps, je crois. On peut balancer, tu peux mettre quelque chose, peut-être qu'on va improviser parce que c'est un concert online et tout le monde est connecté, tout le monde est là. Big up, big up, big up, big up. Encore? Ok. Parce que la COVID veut nous empêcher de bouger. All right, can't stop it. C'est... je n'ai pas besoin d'une pause. J'ai juste besoin d'un micro et des sons. J'ai pas besoin d'une pause. J'ai juste besoin d'un stylo et d'une feuille. J'ai pas besoin d'une pause. J'ai juste besoin d'un micro et des sons. Tant que ma société est marginalisée, tant que mon peuple vit dans des difficultés, tant que les droits de l'homme sont toujours bafouillés, tant que la COVID nous empêche de marcher, tant que la COVID nous empêche de bouger, I say, je n'ai pas besoin d'une pause. Je n'ai pas besoin d'une pause. Je n'ai pas besoin d'une pause. J'ai juste besoin d'un micro et d'un son. Je n'ai pas besoin d'une pause. J'ai juste besoin d'un stylo et d'une feuille. J'ai pas besoin d'une pause. J'ai juste besoin d'un micro et d'un son. J'ai pas besoin d'une pause. J'ai juste besoin d'un stylo et d'une feuille. Solidarity, positivity.
Oh, Yakuba! Awesome. For everybody, Yakuba, thank you so much. What a wonderful performance by you. And for everybody, you can follow Yakuba on Instagram. You can find the link in the chat box here. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Next performance, now welcoming Maria Senhora Gonçalves here. Maria hails from the Brazilian state Pernambuco. Maria goes by the stage name Senorina. She's a teacher, singer, and composer and proud Black feminist from the Quilombola community in Brazil. Maria, the floor is all yours.
Yeah.
Hi.
Bom dia. Sou Maria Senhora Gonçalves. Sou professora negra, sou mulher quilombola. É um prazer estar aqui. Fiquei muito feliz com essa canção animada, muito legal. Então, o Brasil, a gente aqui no Brasil luta todos os dias para dar visibilidade à nossa cor, à nossa raça, à nossa luta, a luta da mulher negra. E estou muito agradecida a todos e também à CONAC, a Coordenação Nacional das Comunidades Negras Rurais Quilombolas. Então, aqui a juventude precisa muito da potência, da resistência. Então, nós somos a resistência. Sofremos todos os dias e lutamos contra o racismo estrutural, que mata nossos jovens, as mulheres negras, os nossos sonhos e da nossa juventude. E estamos todos os dias resistindo para existir, lutando por uma educação específica, a educação escolar quilombola, onde nossos antepassados lutaram para hoje a gente estar aqui. Então, vou cantar um repente. Sou cordelista, sou compositora, e vou cantar um repente que se chama potência e resistência quilombola. O pandeiro é um dos instrumentos que a gente utiliza para cantar essa canção. Quero que você me diga, quero que me diga agora a potência e resistência dos guerreiros quilombolas. Eu quero que você me diga, quero que me diga agora a potência e resistência dos guerreiros quilombolas. O quilombola é valente, negro forte e lutador, veio quebrar a corrente e mostrar o seu valor. Veio trazer de navio, mas escravo não ficou. Quero que você me diga, quero que me diga agora a potência e resistência dos guerreiros quilombola. Quero que você me diga, quero que me diga agora a potência e resistência dos guerreiros quilombola. O território velho Chico tem cultura e tradição, gente forte que tem fé e não foge da missão, descendente de quem é, dispensa a apresentação. Quero que você me diga, quero que me diga agora a potência e resistência dos guerreiros quilombolas. Quero que você me diga, quero que me diga agora a potência e resistência do guerreiro quilombola. Sou filha de agricultor, quilombola de raiz, o que a vida ensinou me tornou um aprendiz. Serão sempre professor e me tornando mais feliz. Eu quero que você me diga, quero que me diga agora a potência e resistência do guerreiro quilombola. Quero que você me diga, quero que me diga agora a potência e resistência dos guerreiros quilombola. Temos dança de risada e jogo de futebol. Nessa luta sofisticada como o peixe no anzol. Não somos só nas estrelas, mas somos o raio do sol. Quero que você me diga, quero que me diga agora a potência e resistência dos guerreiros quilombolas. Quero que você me diga, quero que me diga agora a potência e resistência dos guerreiros quilombolas. E tem um rap que eu também criei, que é sobre a mulher. Respeita que a mulher chegou. Porque as mulheres como Aqualtune, Dandara, Teresa de Benguela e muitas outras são invisibilizadas no Brasil. Os livros não mostram a nossa história. Os livros não contam a nossa organização na política, no poder, nas organizações sociais. Então, temos também que despertar os currículos das escolas para mostrar a potência das mulheres negras, das mulheres quilombolas que fizeram história no Brasil. O rap se chama assim. Nossa sociedade corre atrás do prejuízo, tentando acabar com a cultura do machismo. Chega de tortura, ditadura e opressão. Esse é o recado que eu te deixo, meu irmão. Respeita, respeita que a mulher chegou, respeita. Oh, respeita. Respeita que a mulher chegou. Chega dessa história de achar que é normal. Tirar a nossa vida é notícia em jornal. O teu preconceito não enxerga a minha dor. Esse é o recado que eu te deixo, seu doutor. Respeita, respeita que a mulher chegou. Respeita, oh, respeita. Respeita que a mulher chegou. Temos que falar lá em casa e na escola, nos mobilizar e mostrar a nossa história. Os nossos direitos todos têm que conhecer. Conta comigo que eu conto com você. Respeita, respeita que a mulher chegou. Respeita, oh, respeita, respeita que a mulher chegou. Aqualtune e Dandara são exemplos de bravura. Guerrearam em Palmares contra toda escravatura. Nos deixaram esse legado como forma de recado para as gerações futuras. Respeita. Tem que despertar os currículos das escolas. O livro tem que mostrar as mulheres quilombolas. O nosso protagonismo é arma contra o racismo e ações escravatórias. Respeita. Sou negra, sou quilombola e não aceito o preconceito. Eu não me estou pedindo, eu exijo mais respeito. Vejo na televisão o racismo escancarado. Quero cadeia para sujeito ultrapassado. Respeita. Chega dessa história de achar que é normal. Tirar a nossa vida é notícia em jornal. O teu preconceito não enxerga a minha dor? Esse é o recado que eu te deixo, seu doutor. Respeita. Anastácia Cotirene e Teresa de Benguela, recebo os agradecimentos das mulheres quilombelas. É preciso aquilombar, os espaços ocupar e honrar o nome delas. Respeita, respeita que a mulher chegou, respeita, oh, respeita, respeita que a mulher chegou. A nossa sociedade precisa de transformação. O campo até a cidade não pode se esquecer, não. E a prática do racismo trouxe grande prejuízo para a nossa população. Respeita, respeita que a mulher chegou, respeita, oh, respeita. Respeita que a mulher chegou. Respeita que a mulher chegou. Então, essa é a performance da nosso Brasil e eu estou muito feliz por estar aqui. Brasil, estamos juntos, todos pela juventude e pela vida. Axé.
Thank you, Maria. It was an amazing performance. Lots of love and respect from across the globe coming your way. You can read it in the chat. Now I would like to welcome Jefferson. After that amazing performance, Jefferson is a lawyer from the Quilombola community. He has a master's in sustainable development from the University of Brasilia and holds a postgraduate degree in environmental law. He's a proud Quilombola from the Brasilia state of Pernambuco. Welcome, Jefferson. Please take it away. Unmute yourself. The floor is yours.
Bom dia para quem está no Brasil aqui. Saúdo a todos e todas aí que estão espalhadas nesse mundo, né? Agradeço pelo convite. Saúdo também a toda a juventude do mundo, né? Que sofre algum tipo de discriminação, né? Por sua descendência, por seu trabalho. Vou falar um pouco aqui, bem brevemente, um pouco sobre a situação das comunidades quilombolas, em especial dos jovens aqui no Brasil. Então, assegurada na Constituição brasileira, a soberania alimentar, segurança alimentar e nutricional, juntas integram o direito à alimentação e à saúde, têm sofrido grandes violações aqui no Brasil. Os jovens quilombolas já tinham pouco acesso a políticas públicas. Após a pandemia, o cenário ficou ainda mais devastador. Temos quilombolas em situação de vulnerabilidade extrema, e agora elas estão desamparadas, sem conseguir colocar comida na sua mesa. Tradicionalmente, nós quilombolas trabalhamos e produzimos em sistemas de mutirões de grupos de trabalho. A orientação do isolamento social fez com que as pessoas e os jovens de nossas comunidades freassem um pouco as suas atividades. A falta de regularização dos nossos territórios também figura entre os gargalos enfrentados pela juventude dos nossos quilombos. Muitos não conseguem acessar recursos para a produção, devido à não regularização do seu território, pois não possuem o título da sua terra. Não existe no Brasil uma política pública específica para a juventude que garanta também a produção e escoamento da produção por eles produzidas. Uma construção coletiva que reuniu advogados jovens e advogadas quilombolas no Brasil, a gente conseguiu ir ao Supremo Tribunal de Justiça e conseguimos garantir o direito à vacinação, entre outros. Essa ação se mostrou o único instrumento apto a provocar o judiciário brasileiro para impedir que os direitos humanos quilombolas e de nossa juventude parem de ser violados pelas omissões do governo federal no combate à pandemia da Covid-19 nos quilombos. Durante 10 meses, estamos enfrentando a pandemia do coronavírus. Comunidades quilombolas e sua juventude vêm sofrendo com o agravamento da segurança alimentar e nutricional. Com o isolamento social, muitas vezes os quilombos ficam distantes dos centros urbanos. A nossa juventude quilombola viu diminuir a sua autonomia alimentar e sumirem as comidas da sua mesa. Além disso, municípios e estados têm responsabilidade direta sobre isso. Muitas vezes, eles estão ausentes do nosso território. Com a produção de alimentos sendo possível, a nossa juventude quilombola esbarra na dificuldade de comercializar seus produtos. Após as nossas comunidades irem para o judiciário pleitear o direito da vacinação, eles foram inseridos no grupo prioritário. Mas, apesar de estarmos inseridos no grupo prioritário de imunização contra a Covid-19, desde dezembro de 2020, quilombolas e a nossa juventude de todo o país ainda encontram dificuldades em acessar a vacina. Os problemas vão desde a falta de estrutura para atendimento e até mesmo armazenamento das doses da vacina, que são disponibilizadas para o nosso povo. A pandemia também impôs à juventude quilombola dificuldades no acesso à educação, visto que as aulas passaram a ser de forma remota. Isso representou uma alternativa para o governo brasileiro, mas, ao mesmo tempo, um problema para as comunidades quilombolas, pois grande parte dos quilombos no Brasil não tem acesso aos instrumentos de comunicação. Diante do fechamento das escolas por causa do coronavírus, instituições de ensino e estudantes precisavam se adaptar ao ensino online. Os principais problemas enfrentados pelos estudantes quilombolas são, desde o formato, como sobrecarga e saudade da rotina escolar. Para 82% dos alunos, a falta do contato presencial com amigos afeta os estudos e a aprendizagem. Para 58% deles, a escola manda muitos materiais e eles relatam que não estão dando conta de estudar. Então, eu trago aqui para vocês um pouco da realidade de como está a nossa juventude quilombola diante do cenário da pandemia e também do acesso à alimentação. Agradeço o espaço e seguimos aí comemorando, né, e também fortalecendo a nossa juventude no mundo inteiro. Obrigado.
Thank you, Jefferson. Thank you so much. We're so happy that you could join us in this evening, and we're all together for the cause. Next, I would like to invite on stage Mohammed Dati. Mohammed is the Secretary General and Vice President of the Sahel Foundation for Human Rights and Education Support. The Sahel Foundation is a not-for-profit organization based in Mauritania, fighting against modern slavery and other discriminations through education, helping the children of ex-slaves to go back to school. Welcome, Mohammed Dati. The stage is all yours.
السلام عليكم. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. شكرا سيد رئيس الجلسة طاي الكرام، شكرا لجميع المتداخلين. بمناسبة أود أن أشكر جميع الأطباء في العالم.
One second, please. Apologies, Mohammed. Apologies. We need to get the interpretation. L'interprétation, une seconde, s'il te plaît, Mohammed. Gassam, can you please? We need to have the interpretation, and please, interpreters verify that you're in the right channel, the English channel.
Okay.
At the moment. And Gassam, can you please unmute your microphone? Interpreter Gassam. Perfect. Thank you very much. Okay. Now, Mohammed, go ahead. Gassam, thank you very much. Please go ahead. Sorry to interrupt. Allez-y, Mohammed, s'il te plaît.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. شكرا سيد رئيس الجلسة لإعطاء الكلمة. شكرا لجميع المتداخلين. أسأل الله العلي القدير أن يعطينا خير هذه الجائحة. بالمناسبة أشكر الطاقم الطبي في العالم على إنقاذ البشرية. مداخلتي ستكون حول 3 محاور، هي عن تعريف بمكونة الأحراطين، ثانيا دور الشباب المنحدر من هذه المكونة، ثالثا تأثير صحي لهذه الجائحة المكونة. تعاني مكونة الأحراطين على قرار المجتمعات التي تعاني من التمييز على أساس الأصل والنسب والعمل، من التمييز والعنصرية والإقصاء، كما أنهم يعانون من العبودية بمختلف أشكالها، العبودية التقليدية والعبودية المعاصرة ومخلفاتها، وكذلك النظرة الدونية والظلم في موريتانيا. ضف إلى ذلك جائحة كوفيد-19 التي أثرت على جميع العالم وجميع المستويات، خصوصا الجانب الاجتماعي والاقتصادي لهذه المكونات. لكن شباب هذه المكونات لعب دورا لا يستهان به، فنحن من خلال مسيرتنا النضالية وكفاحنا المستمر نؤمن أن قدرة الشباب على الصمود هي الدفعة أو الشعلة التي نحتاجها. فأثناء هذه الجائحة عمل الشباب المنحدر مكونة الحراطين التي تعاني الأمرين وتعاني الإقصاء والتهميش من أجل خلق مبادرات من أجل التوعية والتحسيس وكذلك توزيع السلات الغذائية خصوصا خلال الموجة الأولى. فالتأثير، النقطة الثانية هي تأثير الجائحة على الصحة. من المعروف أن الحديث عن جائحة كورونا يجعل الناس يخشون أن يصابون بالفيروس وكي لا تظهر عليهم الأعراض، لكن الخطر الحقيقي لا يقف عند هذا الحد، لأن الفيروس أثر على الصحة النفسية والعقلية. تخيلوا معي ما يعانيه الحراطين من إقصاء وتهميش وتوتر وفقر وبطالة وحجر صحي وحظر التجول، بالإضافة إلى جائحة كورونا. هذا التمييز في الوقت والمنطقة جغرافية واحدة فإنه الجنون بعينه، فإن الصحة النفسية والجسدية لهذه المكونات اضمحلت أو أصبحت تساوي الحضيض. أما فيما يتعلق باللقاح والنفاذ إليه فإن الحكومة الموريتانية على قرار الحكومات دول العالم الثالث تلقت مساعدات من اللقاحات من الدول الصديقة، لكنها في مجملها لا تغطي نسبة 40% للسكان، لذا كانت الأولوية كبار السن وأصحاب الأمراض المزمنة. لكن مع انتشار الموجة الثالثة التي امتازت في موريتانيا بأنها قاتلة فتحت الدولة عدة مراكز للتلقيح، لكنها لم تضع آلية واضحة وشفافة لهذه الجرعات، فكانت الزبونية والنفوذ والعلاقات هي الفيصل في الحصول على اللقاح. أما المعاناة التي يعانيها الحراطين في الحصول على اللقاح تتمثل في البعد عن مراكز التلقيح، أي أن أماكن تواجدهم يتواجدون أساساً في الأرياف وفي الأحياء العشوائية والأحياء الصحية في المدن الكبرى، بالإضافة إلى مشاكلهم اليومية لتوفير لقمة العيش، إذ يعتمدون في حياتهم على الأنشطة اليدوية واليومية لتوفير لقمة العيش. لذا فإن ذهابهم إلى المراكز سيؤثر على حياتهم اليومية. وبالرغم من الجهود المبذولة من طرف الشباب في التوعية والتحسيس والحث على ضرورة أخذ اللقاحات، إلا أنه توجد مشكلة أخرى تدخل في ارتباك وتخبط الجهات الصحية، وهي استحالة الحصول على الجرعة الثانية من نفس اللقاح، مما يعرض العملية برمتها إلى الضياع. ذلك يعود إلى أن الحكومة الموريتانية اعتمدت أكثر من لقاح. فمثلا أنا شخصيا تلقيت منذ شهرين الجرعة الأولى من لقاح ترانزيكا، حيث تلقت موريتانيا من 50,000 جرعة، ولما جئت من أجل الجرعة الثانية أخبروني أن هذا اللقاح نفذ وعلي الانتظار، لأن الموجود الآن هو اللقاح الصيني، وهذه مأساة حقيقية يعاني منها الكثير وخصوصا مكون الحراطين. أشكركم والسلام عليكم.
Thank you, Mohammed, in complete agreement with what you're saying. So now I would like to welcome Dhyaneshwar for a poem. Dhyanesh is an MPhil scholar, a freelancer, a researcher, and has been working with different organizations for the last 5 years. He loves diverse music, writes blogs, poems, and memoirs on decoding codes. Welcome, Dhyanesh. The floor is yours, brother.
Thank you so much, Amitabh. Jai Bhim and Zohar to everyone. I'm Dhyanesh from India, and I'm really honored to be part of this gathering. And I've been enjoying the whole gathering till the time. Those were very fantastic performances. I want to congratulate all the performers. I'll be reciting a poem that I have written recently. Like, I have been writing the poem for 2 years, but now I've completed the poem. So just to give you a context, the poem is self-explanatory, so I don't have to give you the detailed meaning of the poem, but Just to give you the context where the location lies about the poet. So the poem comes from it is a psychosocial and philosophical narration of a person with his mind. Like it is kind of a communication with the mind and the self, and then how both the mind and the self have grown up throughout various phases. So that narration has been is being narrated by the poet in the poem. So I'll just recite the poem. I hope that it is simpler to understand. So I hope the organizers have posted the image of the poem in the chat box. You can just open the chat image, and then you can read the poem along with me also. So the title of the poem is a story of mind in the caste society. So it begins like, I was unaware of this world mind until the day I was epistemologically muted, injured, killed, slaved, and buried along with a long ancestry for a millennia now. Neither I claim today that I know about the mind reasonably enough, but I have a story to tell you, a story of my mind and its evolution, devolution, and revolution. So the story, the remaining poem is divided into 3 parts. One part talks about the evolution of the mind, and then the devolution where the manipulation lies, and then the revolution where the mind recovers. I could collect some of the glimpses of me as once upon a time being a child. I was curious to find out what makes me moving, what keeps me driving. Is it me who wakes up in the morning and sleeps every day? Is it me who walks upon the floor, climbs trees, runs into the farm, swims into the rivers? Is it me who speaks, who sings, and who thinks? Or is it all done by something or someone else? Where does everything come from? How do things move in a way in which I like them to move and not to move? Why do they go in a way where I want them to go and not to go? It was all the childhood though, the best time to articulate all the silly, rather most intellectual questions, but sadly nobody was there to answer. I was kept confused, muted. Moreover, my curious mind gradually stopped asking those questions, because parallelly I was growing in a social system. Just the body was growing with a more puzzled mind. I had been convinced to understand and accept a narrative that I belong to a commune, which is impure, filthy, untouchable, and unfit even to think or ask. Well, the name of this commune was, I'm putting dash because I'm not naming that commune, because I don't identify myself as part of that name, because we have been we have given a different identity to ourselves. We call ourselves now Buddhists now. So I'm just putting dash to the name of the commune. So well, the name of this commune was it's a blank. The Antija caste, according to Manusmriti of Sutta in Rig Veda, not supposed to educate, learn, or teach. A class, according to the depressed and down to the norms, not allowed to accumulate capital and mailed only to serve the unclean jobs. It has been imposed on me and half believed that my clan is not a human's clan, unlike others, where dignity, the very principle of axiological aesthetics of me being a living species, in a society where non-living stones are prayed and worshipped, and the ontological existence of me being a human seemed way far unreal. As I grew up and learned to read, comprehend to relate, self-taught to unlearn, the mind slowly began to unfold the buried consciousness, as if it has found its own beauty in functioning, and aesthetics of its own creation. I could understand the differences, ironies, inequalities, and injustices, the intersections of self with the ideas, concepts, and theories of humankind, has given a new way to undermine all the orthodoxically constructed norms. The decoding of these compact junctures, self, mind, and caste, initiated to unravel the layers of imposed narratives and to reconstruct the new way to liberate me and the commune, to reclaim the taken dignity, freedom, and most importantly, the mind. It is now on the verge of getting free, and I believe it will always remain free. That's it. Thank you so much for listening. I hope it was understandable. So yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Dhanesh. Thank you so much. That was deep, and there's lots of love waiting for you in the chat box. So I would request you to go through and respond to all the messages that your friends have shared for you. Now, next, thank you so much. Next, I would like to invite Ingo Ritz from GCAP. Ingo is the Director of Global Call to Action Against Poverty. He coordinates national coalitions and constituency groups from Africa, Asia, Latin America, and Caribbean and Europe in their work against poverty and inequalities, especially for the Sustainable Development Goals. Ingo, we welcome you here, and the floor is open for you.
Thank you very much, Annika, and thank you for the great event. It's really good to see the music from all places. This gives a feeling of togetherness, even though there are so sad stories also. Maybe this togetherness can create this feeling of solidarity. So I think solidarity is absolutely needed, and it's missing so much during this crisis. If we want to end violence and hunger, what we heard, we need this solidarity. So one key element to end the crisis is the vaccine, and therefore many organizations formed the People's Vaccines Alliance. So the Global Call to Action Against Poverty is part of it, and maybe you know about the extreme inequality about vaccines, but I just got the new numbers today that, many rich countries have vaccinated 60, 70, some even 80% of the population, while I just saw Ethiopia only 1%, Mali 0.5%, and even Burkina Faso 0.2%, Burundi and Eritrea even 0%. Yeah? So it's an extreme inequality, and so we will not end this crisis. And for this International Youth Day, we thought it would be good to have something more active. So we, together with different people, we developed this pledge for solidarity, which I want to read out now. We have posted it also in the chat. Let me try it. It's a bit longer, but I think I hope you will like it. Solidarity pledge for the people's vaccine. I express my grievance and deep concern about the suffering unleashed by COVID-19, by taking lives and destroying livelihoods, inflicting hunger and resultant violence. We can solve this crisis together by acting through local and global solidarity. This solidarity is missing. Instead, inequalities that existed before the crisis expanded and continued even further. To end the crisis, at least 80% of the population in all countries have to be vaccinated. However, rich countries are buying significant portions of the vaccines, even holding, giving only a small part to other countries, and even they are not allowing other countries to produce their vaccines. By this, the crisis is going to continue for many years. We will be safe until everyone is safe. I endorse, therefore, equitable vaccine distribution to ensure health for all, where everyone's life is valued and everyone's right to health care is upheld. Vaccines should not be mandatory and conditional to availing other government entitlements. So to make this more concrete, I therefore pledge to act in solidarity by, first, getting myself vaccinated to protect me and others in the society. Second, to pursue my family, friends, and others to get vaccinated, if there is no medical reason against it, of course, whilst ensuring it remains a voluntary act. And third, engaging in the People's Vaccines campaign, demanding free vaccination for all, everywhere, especially by demanding the patent waiver on the vaccines and therapeutics, such as COVID test kits, etc., and also sufficient resources so that vaccines are available to all. And finally, by demanding national policies for free and equitable vaccination and to prioritize vulnerable groups like older people, people with disabilities, Dalits and other communities discriminated by work and descent, indigenous people to get access to vaccines. To close, I express my solidarity with the people who have lost lives and livelihood due to COVID-19. So what to do with this? We would like to invite you to share this pledge on Twitter, on Facebook. So we have shared here in the chat. I will share again the flyer, and also, or you can also retweet or share what we have posted if it's easier for you. But to do it really as a pledge. So that means, of course, only if you are behind it. And as vaccines should not be mandatory, of course, this is a real voluntary act. But we really hope that we can create this movement for global solidarity and end this crisis together. Thank you.
Thank you, Ingo. I would like to request everybody to sign in and also share it amongst their networks. Now, I would like to invite Atnas Stognov in his Romanian-born Bulgaria, teacher, Roma civil society activist, a political analyst. He holds a master's degree in public policy and from the Central European University of Budapest. Atnas has a rich experience in working for Roma non-governmental organizations all over Europe. It's your floor now, Atnas. Please unmute and join us. Can we put the spotlight on Atnas?
I just hear that Athanas, his PC just froze. So maybe we can actually have the song that we planned to share first, and then we will move on to his speech. The song comes here.
Thank you, Johannes, for the assistance, and hello everyone. Glad to see you. So my name is Atanas, and I am from the Roma minority. It's the largest ethnic minority of Europe. I'm normally based in Brussels, but currently I'm in Bulgaria for the summer, and thank you a lot for the opportunity to be here. Actually, besides working for European Rights Grassroots Organizations Network, I'm also coordinating a project which is called Roma Youth Voices for the Pirena Mensa International Roma Youth Network. So the topic of youth is very close to my heart. A few words for who the Roma people are, if you are not familiar with them. Roma people are the largest European ethnic minority. The estimated number of Roma people in Europe is between 10 and 12 million people, with the largest population being focused in the Balkan countries. Turkey 3 million, Romania 2 million, Bulgaria 1 million, and so on and so forth. Today, 6 million Roma people are citizens of the European Union. Based on linguistics, anthropology, and DNA studies, we can claim that Roma originate from today's Rajasthan and Punjab areas of India, and they have migrated to the Balkans and Europe thousands of years ago, most probably brought by Alexander the Great. Because of their contrasting difference to the rest of European population, language, physical appearance, rituals, and traditions, Roma have suffered historically and continue to suffer prominent discrimination, which we call anti-Gypsyism. The greatest crime committed against European Roma is their persecution by Hitler and the Nazi regime during World War II. Between 500,000 and 1.5 million Roma are exterminated, shot dead or imprisoned, and later burned in gas cameras. This leads to the almost total extermination of Roma in Northern and Western Europe. Unfortunately, even after the end of the Nazi regime, European Roma continue to suffer from discrimination, both in totalitarian and democratic regimes. During the communism, for example, Roma in Eastern Europe are being denied their right to self-identify, while Roma in Western Europe are so afraid of the Nazi horrors that they continuously hide their identity and try to be assimilated by the majority. Perhaps very few people know that famous people such as Charlie Chaplin, Elvis Presley, Mother Teresa, the Brazilian president Juscelino Kubitschek are Roma. They were never saying it loud because of this historical discrimination against Roma. Unfortunately, during the COVID-19 pandemics, the discrimination against Roma rapidly increased. Some Roma settlements in Bulgaria and Slovakia were totally blocked without allowing people to go out and provide for their families. In Romania, we witnessed police violence. In Hungary, the poorest did not have any means to provide for themselves. This led to the self-organization of Roma communities. Rich people would send money and organize private campaigns for distribution and food and the most needed for living. Also, the Red Cross intervened, helping many, yet the discrimination was the leading factor for this humanitarian crisis, and not necessarily the fact that there are cases of COVID. Thousands of young Roma who would normally receive breakfast and lunch at schools remain home without the opportunity to attend online schools because they did not have phones, tablets, computers, or internet at home. Additionally, many remained unemployed without being able to receive financial help from the states because their businesses were not officially registered. Many young people who were working abroad and sending remittances home were forced to come back home as they also remained unemployed in their country of employment. This additionally deepened the level of poverty as families remained without the traditional sources of income. Roma in many cities start started protesting against quarantine measures, while some politicians were claiming that Roma are contagious and there should be imposed stricter measures. In Yambol, Bulgaria, for example, a helicopter spread disinfectant from the sky over the Roma neighborhood. No one knows why, no logical explanation. This literally make people, young and old, feel angry and deprived. As for the vaccines, Europe was the first to receive massive quantities and free-for-use vaccines. However, the majority of young people did not get vaccinated yet, as the young are considered to get them last. There is no issue getting a vaccine in Europe, but there is an issue if you are young and you need to wait. Additionally, because of the mistrust created, Roma communities, I would say the majority of Roma, refuse to get vaccinated in a number of countries. Now, because I forgot to tell you about the song was planned to be after my intervention, but what Johannes played is a traditional Roma song coming from the Balkans. All the countries claim that this song is theirs. In fact, it's a Roma song. And it is dedicated to one of the greatest holidays here, St. George, saying that it's a sad story about saying that all the Roma sacrifice a lamb for St. George, but this particular Roma who is singing the song is sad because they don't have a lamb. So I hope you liked it. And again, thank you for this invitation. It's really great to be part of something global. Happy International Youth Day to all.
Oh my God, that was such an amazing song. Thank you, Atanas, for sharing that with us. I think I was almost dancing here. But besides that, thank you for sharing that crucial information from your part of the world. And I really hope that with people like you and with all
We've lost Arnika, I think. Johannes?
Indeed, there seems to be a little connection problem. Let's see if Amitabh is still with us or if it's a general problem that might be in the whole region where they are based. But without any further ado then, it's my great pleasure to give the floor to a great artist who has his roots in also the Asian continent, but has since found his home in the US of A. Flynn Namala, may I invite you to the stage? The floor is yours. You'll perform a song for us. Please go ahead, and thank you for joining us today.
Yes. Hello, everybody. I just want to. Can you guys hear me and can you hear the guitar? Yes.
Perfect. Both perfect. Yes.
Sweet. Yeah. Thank you so much for having me. It's really awesome to be a part of events like this. The song I'm gonna sing is called Something, and it's on like Spotify, Apple Music, all the music listening things. So if you like it, you can listen to it there. But really, like the message of the song is kind of just like when you feel really at a loss for hope and you're kind of just like, I just need something, like any sort of sign that like things are gonna work out. And that's what the song is about. Yeah. So figure it out, oh, water it till it grows. The leaves turn yellow, I'm learning patience, I swear. I could sit here forever, I'm still not listening. I just need something. Just need a sign. Yeah, I just need something. I just need a light. I'm listening to all the songs I used to blast when I was 13. Spent nights curled up, crying underneath the sheets from the other room. You told me you were listening. I haven't felt sadness in my skin like this, and I miss it. Yeah, I miss it. Oh, I miss feeling like this. So just need something. I just need a sign. Just need something. Just need a love. Yes, that is it. Thank you.
Amazing voice, Flynn. Lots and lots of love coming through the chat. Please reply to everybody. And I think you have a huge fan following which is gathered in this meeting itself. Next on is Pritika Pariyar. She has completed her PhD from JNU. Oh, wow, JNU. Okay, that's the university I grew up in. So this is somebody from home, and is currently working as a research officer at the National Campaign on Dalit Human Rights in India. She has presented her research work at several conferences and seminars across India and abroad, and has several publications to her name. Looking forward to hearing from you, Pritika. The floor is yours. Please join in. Let's put the spotlight on her.
Hi, thank you, moderators. And I would like to thank GFORD for giving me this space where I can raise my concerns. I would like to highlight a few points with regard to each intervention that has been put forward to us. This is with regard to food scarcity. So food scarcity has direct impact on health and nutritional status, which is important for protecting the people's immunity, more so from the youth coming from DWG communities and some marginalized communities. The problem of food security was already there. Some of the underlying factors were the socioeconomic conditions, or be it the climate change, the pests, the natural hazards, it was already there. After the pandemic sets in, the impact of food security has just got severe, affecting the vulnerable families and the marginalized people. So according to World Bank, this impact will stay throughout 2021 to 2022. So the World Economic Forum reported that many youths have lost their job and were left unemployed and are not able to access the food because of this and some limited income. So access to nutritional food become problematic for the youths from the DWT communities. With regard to physical and mental health, the youths are exposed to mental health challenges because of the physical distancing and containment and live in a very small spaces. There is a possibility that young people are facing the violence because of the confinement, be it physical or sexual violence. This may also delay their ability to help, to reach out for help, to ask out for help, and seek the support services. This fear, stress, and worry has been the primary response in India, which pose imminent dangers, partially because of the information and misinformation that is circulating in the social media, coupled with financial stress and job loss. During the lockdown 3, around 4 lakh young adults have done suicidal calls to the National Institute of Mental Health and Neuroscience, also known as NIMHANS in India. With regard to vaccine, there is inequality while assessing the vaccine, as the beneficiary have to register online, which means that many of the youths coming from the Dalit community do not have access to internet and mobile phones. So there is also a major concern, especially in the rural area, that is with regard to the gender gap in vaccination. So the vaccine drive is lagging in India, where the demand has outrun the supply. Even though India is the world's largest vaccine manufacturer, the share of population being vaccinated in urban area is far greater than that of the rural area. Therefore, the vaccination of the youths in the rural area, especially those from the marginalized communities, might be a major concern. So some of my recommendation is there should be an economic and social safety net that should be provided to the youth, especially from the DWT or the marginalized communities. They should have the right to participate in decision-making without any sorts of discrimination. Free vaccination should be provided that includes all youths from marginalized community, trans communities, and people with disabilities, etc., that should be provided to them. So the vaccine production should be accelerated, it should be made compulsory, and if not compulsory, then it should be made accessible to all the youths across all gender. Thank you.
Thank you, Pratika, for that extremely informative intervention. Coming up next is our last performance of the day from Noel Naftali Yunus, and it is in Punjabi. He is from Lahore, Pakistan, started singing when he was in 6th grade. He says he inherited his sense of music from his paternal side and was encouraged by his music teacher, Mr. John. Noel has performed across Pakistan and won many awards for his singing. Just to put a little bit of context to this song, it's in Punjabi. It goes that this world is one. It's for our love, hope, dreams, and friendship. And it has a lot of space for us to thrive. So join him, enjoy this performance in Punjabi from Noel.
Is it okay if you can do one last?
Paul, please mute yourself.
Feel is good, or is it too much to ask?
मुस्लिम सिख मसीही नारे लासा सुख दे नहीं रब दा नादा लारा लाके वैरी बन बन रुक दे नहीं स्कूल दी गड्डी उत्ते जाके जद पैस सारे मुक जाते सी अपने कोलों पा देंदा सी बोलो सारा ला देंदा सी याद करो यार सी साडा जिन्नू पुछदे आज सारे दसो की मजहब है तेरा एक खूनी रब ही तेरा अज मार दिता ओ यारो अपना नाले ओ इकरार भी अपना हवा पास दे उस दा नहीं जजने वे पुछना जे किसे ने सानू हुन पाकिस्तान नहीं मनना पूरा हिस्सा कौन है मंगदा उन्हां नूं ए हक नहीं पबदा शौक नूं ए सदर बनन दा डर मुका दो मरन सड़न दा पूरा हिस्सा कौन है मंगदा उन्हां नूं ए हक नहीं पबदा शौक नूं ए सदर बनन दा डर मुका दो सड़न मरन दा
I am sorry. I just got a bit more excited. Thank you, Noel. That was a wonderful performance. Love the song. And everybody, this brings us to the end of this amazing program, and the love that you guys have, everybody has showed here, and the kind of participation that we could see in the chat box. It just didn't feel like that we weren't together in one space. So thank you so much for that energy, for the dedication that everybody had put in. A special mention to all the performers from across the globe and all the panelists who put together such crucial information for all of us to know. And I really believe that platforms like these, programs like these, events like these are meant to bring all of us together and help each other out in any way possible. And now, without taking much more time, I would like to invite Johannes to share some last words here.
Arnika,
thank you.
Before Johannes comes, Gayatri Manola from South Africa, she has actually not finished because of the internet. So if we can invite her for long, and Johannes can close it. Thank you very much.
Sure, Gayatri, most welcome. Please, please. So we will have Gayatri back with us.
It was taking a minute to unmute.
No worries, no worries.
That was such a beautiful end. I really feel like, we're just finished on that really beautiful note. I don't know if we need another one now.
No, please go ahead.
If we're capping up to come into the birthing again, then I'll just release a birthing song, which comes because this movement feels like so many movements we've had in the past too, historic movements of coming together. And in India, of course, we've had mystical traditions and movements as well. And this poem and the song is from there. It's from Karnataka. It's from the mystic poet Akka Mahadevi. And in the poem, she says, not one, not two, not three, not four, but through 8,400,000 vaginas have I come, traveled through unlikely worlds, suffered in pleasure, guzzled in pain. Whatever be all previous lives, let this one be merciful. Wandalla. Yeradalla, Muralla, Nalkalla, Wandalla, Yeradalla, Muralla, Nalkalla. Wandalla, Yeradalla, Muralla, Nalkalla. Wandalla, Yeradalla, Muralla, Nalkalla. Wandalla, Yeradalla.
ಒಂದಲ್ಲ ಎರಡಲ್ಲ ಮೂರಲ್ಲ ನಾಲ್ಕಲ್ಲ 84 ಲಕ್ಷ 84 ಲಕ್ಷ 84 ಲಕ್ಷ ಯೋನಿಯೊಳಗೆ ಬಂದೆ 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 ಬಾರದ ಭವಂಗಲಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದೆ ಬಂದೆ ಉಂಡೆ ಉಂಡೆ ಸುಖ ಸುಖಾಂಗಲ್ಕ ಉಂಡೆ ಉಂಡೆ ಸುಖ ಸುಖಾಂಗಲ್ಕ ಇಂತಿನ ಜನ್ಮ ಇಂತಿನ ಜನ್ಮ ಇಂತಿನ ಜನ್ಮ ತಾನೇನಾದದೆಯೋ ಆಗಲಿ ಮುಂದೆ ನೀ ಕರುಣಿಸ ಮುಂದೆ ನೀ ಕರುಣಿಸ ಚೆನ್ನ ಮಲ್ಲಿಕಾರ್ಜುನ ಚೆನ್ನ ಮಲ್ಲಿಕಾರ್ಜುನ ಚೆನ್ನ ಮಲ್ಲಿಕ್ ಜುಣ
All right, then I think it's time to call Johannes again. Everybody has heard so much from me and Amitabh too now. And Johannes, the stage is all yours now.
Thank you so much. Yeah, it just leaves me to say some kind of thanks to all of you for coming, some concluding remarks. Please feel free to use emojis, hearts, use the Zoom features to show your appreciation to all the artists we have seen today. I will go through them by name, and please don't hold back from the different artists. And in the very end of my giving thanks, we will open the microphones to all of us so we can give a little applause to everyone, but not quite yet. Maybe as a little bit of a concluding remark, the power of art coming together, global solidarity must not be underestimated. In a time of such hardship, the positive energy, the positive signs, the solidarity is more important than ever. And although there is so much to do, so much to worry about, so much to work, so much to protest, so much to proclaim, we still need to find places and spaces to come together to express the love we have for each other, the culture and the global solidarity that exists among us and will never be broken. Thank you also to the audience for coming, sticking around at this performance. And I want to now briefly also mention some of the artists, or all artists really. It's a little bit dangerous that I forget someone, but I will still dare to do it. I will therefore also speak other languages, so interpreters, please beware to switch. Pour commencer, j'aimerais bien remercier Mohamed et Yacouba. Votre performance était excellente. Je suis très contente qu'on a eu l'espace pour vous inviter, et je suis sûr qu'on se va voir au futur prochainement. Now in Spanish. Jefferson, María Senora González de Brasil, muchísimas gracias a ustedes. Un gusto tenerles aquí y qué placer compartir con ustedes en este espacio maravilloso. Gracias. Before I go to the English thanks, I just want to also mention all the interpreters. Thank you so much, Angeline, Morgan, Elvira, Ricardo, Roberto, Mariela, Igasan, for all the interpretation that you did. Without you, this event would not have been possible. And also, thank you so much to all the artists, the amazing poetry, Nien. We heard just now from Gayitra, Aza, and Bususiwe, Pradeep, Parija, Atanas, Flynn Namala, we had with the song, Pritika, Noel from Pakistan. Also, special thanks to all the, people who made this possible, the team. We have Vinay, we have Nayantara, Dipanshu, and we have also Bina and Paul, who are some of the, let's say, elders, without whom this would not be possible and this whole movement would not exist. And now, I will ask you now to unmute your microphones. I will request that, so we'll come out all. So please give an applause to the moderators, Pranika and Amitabh. Thank you, and all the artists. Thank you. Now, the recording.